Alrighty, team one. The purpose of this meeting is to kind of check in with you and see where you need feedback. So you probably have seen the work plan. So this is kind of where I aim to give feedback on. But I'm curious to hear what you guys been up to and what you need me to do. And probably it's best if you put your GitHub URL in the chat, and I can clone and directly see what's going on, unless you want to use TeamViewer. That's also possible.
I'll put it in the chat quickly, the GitHub repository.
So I'm cloning it now, and shoot it. What's been bucking you? Give it a better name, because otherwise, give it a better name so people people who are gonna hire you know what they're signing up for, right? Certainly, they see your marketeers, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it is a tremendously awesome repository. So
I love the spirit. Okay, so what's up with that tremendously awesome repository?
I think it's going pretty well. I mean, I think this morning after the lecture, we had a discussion and we noticed that some of our questions had overlapped with DPrep.
Yeah.
So actually, our main point, our main question that we want to ask is, firstly, it's got to do with the privacy, because obviously we're scraping tweets.
Yes.
And that also includes usernames and
yes.
And their handles. And we wondered what kind of solution we could implement in order to make it.
The first thing is that you don't store your data in this repository, right? Data is always something that you don't version, because data gets extremely big, right? So what you want to do is you want to define a I need to join this meeting actually with my tablet and then draw something. All right, but I'm not set up yet. So let me see. Join meeting. Okay, how does that work? Meeting ID. Let me try to. Do you know the meeting ID of this meeting? Let me see. More. Can you put it in the chat? Do you see it? I'm like super slow on this.
I don't know. View options maybe. Let's see. I don't know.
Maybe I just go to the website of Canvas and then I log in.
Oh, Job just sent it. Job just sent it in the chat.
Oh yeah.
And that's what it says anyway for the on the announcement page of the course.
Yeah. I'll do this because otherwise I need to type it. Okay, log in, DPrep. Sorry guys for. And while I'm doing this, you're not using issues, right? Are you? Is there a reason for this?
What do you mean precisely?
Yeah, so you see my screen, right? You see my screen, right?
Yeah.
So issues are without video, just
recording in progress.
All right, I think. All right, so this works. So the issue board on GitHub is used for communicating with each other. So it's actually meant to replace email, because email is very transitory and you kind of forget about issues. What you do is when you identify stuff, you say a very actionable thing like, this is test, update readme with new version of datasheets template, right? And one thing, I'm not a collaborator on this, but usually you have like a lot of options on this side to assign people. So suppose Mark has like tons of ideas, but he doesn't have the time. You could just like add Lika, for example, to work on this, and she'll get an email when she logs on to GitHub. She'll see that issue, and you can start discussing that issue. Another really awesome thing is that you have a project board where you, and I'll show you on one of my projects. Let me see. So we got like 43 issues. We tag the importance to know what we're working on. If we're like lazy, we don't know where to start, we work on these issues. Like your project, well, not this one, but soon enough when you start your job, your projects will be so big that you like need a management system for this. what is also possible is to create project boards where you create a backlog of issues you want to work on, and then you plan in a sprint of what you all want to work on. Typically, you define like 2-week period sprints, or like 1 week, or even 3, days of sprints for team projects like this for this course, right? Where you all commit to doing something. When you're working on this, you move it to in progress, and when you're done, you move it to done. And in that way, you keep track of the project. You don't have an agenda for a meeting because the board is your agenda. This is what you work on. The end of the sprint, you decide what enters from the backlog in your next sprint. It's like a very, very, very powerful way to manage things.
Yeah, it looks like Trello.
It's like Trello, exactly. But then it's here. If you use Trello somewhere else, I use Trello also for other projects where I don't have GitHub. So that works also fine. But yeah.
At the beginning, you said you shouldn't save your raw data on GitHub.
Yeah.
What would you advise?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. That's why I went through the lengthy progress of getting my tablet here, because right now you're seeing my screen, right? So let me try to draw this. So you have your code, which sits on GitHub, okay?
Yeah.
And then typically you'll have a file remote or data remote. I call this a remote because the data is not located where you are at. This is in the cloud. And you can use for this S3, but you don't have credentials and it costs you money. But you can also use Google Drive, right, for this.
Okay.
And then when you work in code, for example, here's a little code file. For example, you have a download py, and what this is doing is it is fetching this data from the cloud. And I think you have already some code snippets somewhere that downloads data, so that you have. Yeah. The only thing that you need is a way to put the data there. So suppose we have a second script, which is your crawler. Okay, so what you want is you have like, that kind of collects the data and writes it to a directory, a local directory. So for instance, this is your data directory of your repository. This is like date 1, date 2, and so forth and so on. And you have a little script which pushes this data to the cloud. So actually, Lieke can start, if Mark runs this scraper, and at the end of every day, Mark pushes, I call this push, but uploads this to Google Drive. Then using the link on GitHub, anybody in this project can download this data again. You are the owner of the secret data. This is never shared with the public, right? This raw data, because it has sensitive data, like you said, Mark, right? But like this, you can share your code, and the data is private. Now, what about privately releasing the data? That is possible in such a framework, namely that you have another public data remote, okay? For example, I don't know where you want to put this data, but you don't have to do this for this project. And you can define another script which pushes the derived version after it's been cleaned and edited and anonymized to this public remote, and then other people can access this. I use as this public remote a thing called Dataverse. This is like the university system, like in the Netherlands and beyond, to publish final data sets. And what people see is they have the code that transformed the raw data into a data set that I want to publish publicly. That's kind of the workflow. Okay. And you see that in my example packages, which I have put up online on my own GitHub repository. Okay. So the most crucial thing for you is to understand how to build this remote. And the easiest thing is just like every day that you're, I don't know, what are you scraping again? Funda or what? No.
Twitter.
Twitter. So maybe you can have like, I don't know what this data file, how many data files you will have, but maybe you have like a couple of data files and you have this push script to the data remote, and then you can update that download script to, every time you have pushing new zip files or new CSV files to your data remote, you have another download script which downloads this data. That's it, right? That way it becomes portable.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. I'll stop.
So actually what you do is if I understand correctly, you push raw data to the cloud, and then you have a script that actually manipulates that data and then makes it presentable to the public.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and then it's been adjusted, so we still have the raw data.
Yes.
But the only thing that's at the front. Okay, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay,
this
cool.
is a big. This is a big step forward. So when you go, screen my repositories for the data, but I've shown it to you a while ago. I guess the data. Let's take the Spotify promotions release. Actually, not one. No, I want another one. Spotify data. Where is it? Data. Platform power. Say the ecosystem thing. This is my data folder, and I specifically call it raw data confidential so that I never push it to some public service, because I can. I'm not allowed to. And then I have some source code which creates data which gets into the release, and this release stuff I push to the cloud, to like Dataverse. Okay. And here's like the URL, but it's not public yet. So, but yeah, that's kind of how it goes. Okay. Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, we have another very trivial question, to be honest. Is it 100% necessary if we extract data with our scraper and it saves correctly in CSV to change it to JSON?
No.
Because we've tried it after our lecture. Because in the morning you extracted a data set with our scraper and CSV, and it was kind of messy. But we've tried it again and again, and we actually get like correct CSV files out of a scraper.
Do the things.
So then we can,
do the things that bring efficiency gains, and that one doesn't look like it. Are you using? Cool. Where's your data exploration scripts? Do you have them already?
I don't know for sure.
Yeah. Something that
we haven't. Yeah, we haven't made them yet. No, we're gonna this weekend. We've organized a study session, and we'll work on our data exploration.
I'll give you quick comments. Please rename the pipeline stages, because Markdown is a software program or a language. It's not a pipeline stage. Yeah. All right. Collect, that's very clear, but probably this is legacy. Because you're versioning things, you can remove that. Because like when you're here on GitHub, you can always click on history and browse previous versions of your repository, your entire repository. The beauty of using GitHub is to not have legacy stuff in here. Another thing that I'm seeing is you should use Git Ignore Files, because the DS stores, these are mech scripts of like, I don't know even what it does. I don't know. It's stuff that shouldn't be versioned. So by using .git ignore, writing a .git ignore.
I think we've already got .git ignore, and we've already blocked out the DS store files.
Yes, you've blocked it, but it's
I believe you did that for us.
But it's still committed. So as a way to, it's still here. So you have to remove it from the repository. Git remove. Okay. Okay. And you can, if I was a collaborator on this, I could just like kick it out. Good. Other things that I'm seeing: data cleaning. Challenges in data cleaning. Let me just see what it is. Yes, this is all issues where you tag each other, assign priorities, and adopt the Trello way of working. We have a tutorial on this on Tilburg Science Hub. It's been just produced by one of my colleagues. All right, so let me see where it is. To show you the tutorials, Scrum for researchers. Amazing. So thanks a bunch.